The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Ladies and gentlemen and politicians of the Fall River area, welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, and I am CJ, and my guest host today is Patrick Higgins. The man, the legend, at least in his own mind.
The $1,000 fine enhancer for the open meeting law.
Yeah, you know, I thought that was kind of interesting. I wrote about that a little bit over the weekend flush. And of course, you know, the key part of that whole decision wasn't that the complaint was found valid. It was they were violated because they can't answer on time.
Yeah, because Judge Macy will not ask anybody for extra time, like, you know, and Jonathan issues those probably 14 times a week.
Yeah, you know, and it's rather simple. You know, you just send an email saying, hey, Jonathan, I need 2 more weeks.
Yeah,
done.
We're not meeting for 2 weeks. Can we have 3 weeks to answer this and get an answer back? I get them all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
From other communities. By the way, I did get the memo from Chip about the dress code. That's why I dressed this way today.
Oh, okay. I don't get those because I'm.
You must have deleted the email.
Yeah, I'm hidden in the bunker. I don't get to see that too much.
It must be just the on-air talent.
Yeah, the on-air talent.
On-set talent.
Mm. Yeah, well, you're some type of talent, that's for sure. You know, it's interesting because I happen to be watching, you know, the brave man's war zone, you know, social media.
Yes.
And Chip Camera, C-A-M-E-R-A, was elevated to the level of access of evil.
I saw that. With
Josh, Silva, and Jordan. And I thought it was interesting because none of the names are spelled right. But, you know, it's nice to be elevated that way. I appreciate it. It makes for...
I was in a restaurant over the weekend that has Cho rice sandwiches, C-H-O-U-R-I-C-E.
Oh, show rice sandwiches.
Show rice sandwiches.
That must be the new one. That must be that new one that they make with, you know, some type of pork and some type of rice. And they put it together. And
yeah, it was pretty good, but show rice sandwich.
Yeah, oh, well, that works. Well, I don't know what people thought about the headline for the weekend flush this Sunday. The militia has been deployed and the Army tanks are rolling down North Main Street. You know, you really can't
make this stuff up.
Yeah, you can't. And you know, it's interesting because the local print media, you know, had a story about the questions voiced about Mayor Correa's economic development plan. And I've brought them up here several times. You know, so what's really interesting is if you review that video,
which I did.
Yes, of the Redevelopment Authority's emergency session where everything was tabled. You
have to give those commissioners great credit to table that because they did not have enough information to make that decision that night.
I agree. But also what I think is funny is there was no PowerPoint. There was no printed charts, no printed graphs.
The 5th grader of Spencer Borden made it on a
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like it looked like an elementary school student had drew it all out. I guess it was all handwritten.
He must have terminated the print shop guy.
Yeah, and it was all handwritten notes, which is totally unlike the mayor. And again, you know, Mr. Mayor, remember, perceptions become the reality. So people saw that after you said very clearly that, you know, you've been working on this for some time. Well, I have a problem with working on this for some time because it really seemed like you threw it together in a matter of hours, which is not unheard of for your office. But I've never been a supporter of Ken Fiola or the Florida Office of Economic Destruction. I don't want anyone to think that I am in any way, shape, or form supporting FROED to stay in place or for FROED to be removed. I think that something needs to be done with FroEd because the way they govern their successes is poor. Because if they are supposed to produce 200 jobs this year, and they bring in an employer who hires 200 people, they met their requirements. But meanwhile, if a business closed and they lost 3,000 jobs,
They don't reflect that.
it doesn't reflect that. So it's kind of an untrue success rate. But hey, it's a politician.
How long has Ken Fiola been in his position? Was Dover Stamping still around when he took over the?
You know what? I believe it's almost 30 years.
Because as you know, Dover
25 years.
As you know, Dover Stamping, somebody get out of jail, they'd hire them immediately, and at least they could have a paycheck and they could become law-abiding citizens. Now we got Amazon with 1,500 jobs, but they don't have any felons in there, no ex-cons there.
Yeah.
Wendy's doesn't hire ex-cons. I mean, so how are these people that get out of jail today supposed to be a law-abiding citizen?
Hey, this is
rent?
Fall River. This is Fall River. You can come to Fall River and you can
Get on
make it
welfare.
here.
Yeah,
You
we
can make it here in Fall River.
Unless you're an ex-con.
Unless you're an ex-con.
I have to ask, how do the parole officers and probation officers enforce the responsibility that you have to have gainful employment if nobody will hire you?
That's another whole show.
I think that's going to be the civil rights movement of 2017 before the year is over.
Well, you never know what's going to happen. I'm just having some real serious problems because we have an absolute division and a breakdown in communication that is so vast now that there is nothing that you can do to seem to bridge that.
It's an election year. It's time for campaigning.
Well, I understand that, but the thing is,
nobody's going to get anything done. Look at last year with the
I got
federal
into a debate, a civil debate, with a city councilor yesterday about why is everything in Fall River always so negative? Why does everyone promote the negative? Why does everyone promote the negative? And I said, Councilor, it's because there's no positive.
Yeah.
There are plenty of positive things going on in Fall River. We got people going out and cleaning the streets. I said, you cannot say that you have anything positive going on in Fall River when you can't even pay to keep up your buildings. You can't even pay for police. You can't pay for fire. You can't pay for your school system. And the school system we have is falling apart. The streets of Fall River look like Fallujah, and Fallujah looks better.
And coming down Florence Street today, I noticed 5 more potholes. So.
Yeah. I mean, and then you look at streets that have just recently been done, and the city council is like, okay, yeah, dig them up, go ahead, dig them up. And they make excuses. And this council was making excuses. Well, you got to know why after 40 years we need a new school building up at Durfee.
Whoa. After 40 years we need a new Durfee?
Yeah.
Case High School opened in 1975. They don't need a new school. So
Yeah.
it must be lack of maintenance. I don't want to hear that there was a ton
That's
of
the
people
whole
who
thing.
got kickbacks.
All we ever do in Fall River is spend the money, and we don't maintain what we spend it on.
Because I was in Case High School 3 weeks ago, and I'll tell you what, it's in good shape, considering it's 42 years old.
And they're like, oh, well, we got to save what we have at Durfee because we got a swimming pool and we've got the largest auditorium. Okay, wonderful. We have a swimming pool that's not legal.
Yeah, it's not big enough for a
Right, you
competition.
can't use it for competitions. So that was a brainchild right there.
And it's not open to the public in the summer.
Exactly, and it's not open to the public. And then you have, and even year round, never mind. And then you have, that would be a good revenue stream. That would be a good revenue stream.
Of course it would.
Yeah, but again, we can't look at it that way. And then,
it might help pay for maintenance.
right, then we have the largest auditorium in the state that's truly underutilized. It is truly underutilized. And again, there's another revenue stream. So why aren't we doing that? And we're going to complain, oh, boo-hoo, we don't have the money, we need a new school building, the place is falling down around us. That's because you didn't maintain it. Because even if it was built schlock, even if it was thrown together with chewing gum and flypaper, all right, you could still make it work.
They can't make it here.
No, they can't make it here either. So let's look at that. So before you, the taxpayer, decide you want to spend $20 million extra dollars on top of everything else that the mayor wants you to do a debt exclusion on, Think about the fact that we're going to spend $200 million or so on a building, which the building that I've heard is a joke. We're going to keep the existing building. We're going to build a tower. I'm getting this picture of like, Space 1999 or something.
Rock Street had a tower when the old Durfee.
Yeah, well, that's a little different.
And it's in much better shape, too.
That was a little different. But, it makes absolutely no sense. And now you have situations arising over recycling, which he's saying is very successful because we're paying less for the waste. Meanwhile, he's paying $7.50 a day to haul it. And other companies...
Wait a minute. Aren't they hauling that in the City of Fall River registered and insured?
Yeah,
truck?
well, that's the other question. It's got city plates on the trucks.
So when they get into a wreck in Providence, the $100,000 cap doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't mean
the
anything.
city taxpayers are on the hook again because the mayor knows everything.
Right. Well, of course.
Just ask him.
I mean, have you read some of these contracts? They're not even contracts. They're jokes. Okay? And besides Chip, I've had other people look them over. And they said, this isn't a contract.
I took contract law and it's not even close to
This is like, this isn't even a side letter. I'm like, well, this is what we have in Fall River. So you have to ask yourself what's going on.
And someday they'll figure out how to put a termination clause in a contract.
Yeah. But
I'm waiting for that to come bite.
what I think is funny is there's a pending complaint, December 27, 2016, with the Attorney General in regards to the fact that the mayor went on WSAR. And people, I'm not going somewhere else and not staying on topic. I'm going to show you how this all plays in 1 second. The mayor was on WSAR and he said that he texted every single city councilor to get an amnesty for the trash fines for the holidays. And they were all on board. The vote that evening was 9-0. They were all on board. Well, the mayor said he texted them all. They were all on board. The city council voted 9-0, all on board. The only city councilor so far that has said no, I wasn't texted, was Pam LaLiberte LeBeau. She said it that evening, and she said, I don't even have my phone. My phone's not working. I'm waiting for a new one. I said, okay, no problem.
And that's the mayor. The mayor has a problem with sending out these group texts by and between all the city councilors, asking for input, which is deliberation.
Right, but here's the thing.
Another open meeting.
But that's what this is. This complaint was on an open meeting law complaint. But here's the funny part. Joe Macy said that, I want to read it word for word because I did put it in the weekend flush.
So, page 2, second paragraph from the
Yes,
bottom.
I know exactly where it is. Note that the reference text is discussed on local radio media. In these circumstances, it appears any reference to text is inadvertent. So my question was, did Joe Macy, in his defense, call the mayor a liar?
Sounds like it.
It sounded like it to me, but...
The podcast says the text exists.
Right. Now here's the thing. The mayor says that he doesn't remember texting. He doesn't see any texts. Well, guess what? The text can be ordered up from the cellular carrier. The phone company can provide a listing, and they go back 6 months to a year, sometimes only 90 days. Now, is that same excuse going to apply when questions come up on King Philip Mill and Toby Recycling and Atlantic Waste and the school money and the firing of umpteen number of people? Oh, it was inadvertent. Really? Inadvertent? So my big question then becomes, on these inadvertent, when your own lawyer states on the record that your reference to text is inadvertent, communications between the council and the mayor was made, as the vote showed, and the mayor did state they all agreed. So is this another inadvertent reference or just an outright lie, misrepresentation, or deception? That was my big question for for the weekend flush, but it's my question to the viewers as well. And I don't care if you're a zombie, okay? I really don't care if you're a zombie, because guess what? Even if you're a zombie, your mayor must remember what he says. I was brought up with the knowledge that anything you say, you own. If it was wrong, you admit it was wrong. When we've made incorrect statements on this show, we have retracted them. We've retracted them publicly. We've retracted them here and online when we make a mistake.
You know, the mayor should learn from the Watergate situation and President Nixon's resignation, because it wasn't Watergate that brought him down, it was the cover-up.
That's right.
Didn't take responsibility for what happened.
Right, and that's
what's happening in Fall River.
Right, and
Jaisel is so Nixonian, it's not even funny.
And the funny thing is that no matter what people want to say, the perception is what's going to count.
Yep.
And the problem we're having, and it's a major problem that we're having, is the administration, and I'm not pointing out just the mayor, the administration has regularly misrepresented, or as the city council said, lied to them and to the city. Because the numbers are never the same, the projects are never the same, the outcomes are never the same, and everything's a success. I find very few successes. And what really gets me is the majority of these zombies that are out there, they were the same people, the same exact people who wanted to burn in effigy Will Flanagan for doing a lot less than what this administration is doing. A lot less.
I'll tell you right now, Jaisel couldn't hold a water bottle for Will Flanagan for his performance.
You know, it's just, it's getting to be scary. It really is. And, you know, when you have councilors who are saying, we got to focus on the positive in Fall River. What positive? What positive? What positive do you honestly see? Okay? What positive do you honestly see?
Well, they opened the government center at the last cold wave.
Right.
That's a positive.
Yeah, without a fire watch.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a positive. But when you look at 165% increase in homelessness.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, an increasing number of heroin overdoses.
But we got Narcan. Don't worry about that.
But that's why we have the increasing number of heroin overdoses. Because there is no negative outcome anymore.
And there's no responsibility.
Right, they don't have to take responsibility for it. I overdose, they come, they squirt the stuff up my nose, I'm all set.
And then I'll go out and get some more heroin.
Yeah, and a lot of them do. And a lot of them do.
And that's the underground economy of Fall River right now.
It's not even an underground economy anymore.
Actually, it's above ground now.
Right. And that's why I also said in my weekend flush, we're going to have to change the rebranding campaign from make it here to get your smack here.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening.
Hills, mills, and heroin.
Yeah. And you know, when you make the area attractive, there's a legal term for it. It's called an attractive nuisance.
Yes, there is.
People can get injured. So you maintain it. You have a building that's falling apart, dilapidated, it's no good, but people go in there and they squat and, you know, they go in there, they party, they do all kinds of stuff like King Philip Mill used to be. It becomes what's called an attractive nuisance.
Yep.
And then people get injured and then you're on the hook for it.
I hear the Sylvia School is now a attractive nuisance, that there are squatters in there.
Right.
We were talking about that at the last city council meeting.
Right, but this is the problem. So you have this whole attractive nuisance thing going on in Fall River, where you have dilapidated buildings, you have people squatting, you have illegal flop houses being opened by nonprofit companies who the mayor let off the hook because we got fireworks.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay?
And they were from Rhode Island, so I mean, obviously, you know, we got the Rhode Island.
No, actually, that company isn't from Rhode Island. No.
Okay.
Nope, that company isn't from Rhode Island. I know, I used to work for them.
Okay.
And that company has a lot of contracts with the state, too. So, and again, these alleged illegal, let's change that, alleged, I don't want to say they're illegal, they're allegedly illegal, flop houses are a problem.
And now on the city council agenda, they're worried about safe houses.
Well, that's the allegedly illegal flop houses I'm talking about.
Yep.
Okay?
No regulations.
Under city ordinance, if you have 3 unrelated people living in the same house, it becomes a boarding house.
Which needs a license from our friend John Salino.
Right. But we don't do that in Fall River. Why should we? And as long as we keep making it an attractive place to come for drug addicts, detox buildings, methadone clinics, nonprofits who want to house them here.
Well, we got to expand STAR so we can get some more people down.
That's right.
From out of the area.
But again,
we don't have enough addicts in Fall River yet.
Right, because again, that's another lie. That's another lie. Okay, it's going to be 30 new beds or 60 new beds or whatever it may be for Fall River. They are not for Fall River.
Nope, it's 60 more statewide people coming down
That's
to Fall
right.
River. And when they get out and they get, quote, clean, they stay because they pick up their welfare check and their Obama phone and they're all set.
Well, the funny thing is there are a lot of people who, at the end of the month, go screaming to get into a detox facility because their Social Security check ran out and they don't have any money yet.
Yep.
And then they know the day the check comes.
They're out the door.
And they're out the door that day, whether they're done or not. And this is how the system is abused. And the taxpayer's paying for it. And, when you look at the fact that you're paying on the average overdose case, I won't call them victims. It's costing you approximately $18,000 a month per case. Or per person. That's a lot of money.
And that's for each overdose.
Right.
So when they have 4, that's more than the average income in Fall River.
2 is more than the average income in Fall River.
1 for some people.
And remember, people are like, oh no, it's not that high. Yes, it is. Just 2 doses of Narcan through a self-injector. Now remember, let's clarify, a self-injector is $4,500. The spray that the fire department's using that they squirt up your nose, while it's effective, it's not as effective as an intravenous or an intramuscular injection of it. That's running about $100 a dose. Now add in the ER visit. Now add in the EMS travel. Now add in the IVs and everything that EMS does.
And
those EMS bills aren't cheap.
Are most of these people uninsured?
Most of them are on Mass Health.
Yeah.
So the taxpayer is footing the bill.
Either way.
Any way you look at it.
Yep.
And if they're not footing the bill because they're uninsured or whatever the case may be, we're footing the bill. Because we can't get the money back.
Because we're either paying through Mass Health or we're paying directly the bill.
Right. Now.
But the overdose victim is paying 0.
Right. And I used it in a very, very emotional term. I said that our elected officials are murderers.
Oh yeah,
they've enabled this.
Yep.
And if you haven't watched Heroin on Cape Cod or whatever it was called, even the parents after their children have passed on have said they enabled them. They should have just cut them off at the beginning. And for some parents, it's a hard thing to do. But baby, tough love is the way to go. And when you don't, you dump your problem on everybody else. And I don't want your problem. I have enough of my own. I mean, I've got Patrick, let's be real.
That's why I'm a firm believer that is on your kid's 18th birthday, change the locks and tell them the rent's $25 a month. Show them and tell them after 2 months he can get a key back.
There you go. Good luck on that one.
Keeps them from living in the basement till they're 35.
Yeah, well, that's becoming the new mantra across the country.
I know.
But we have a city council meeting coming up tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to watch that.
Do you think they'll talk about the $1,000 fine they just got from the Attorney General's office?
It's not on their agenda. It's not on their agenda. But I will tell you, it appears that the recycling issue is going to be on the agenda.
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic
Okay,
right
and
now.
many councils have asked for our information and for our data. And
Pretty sad that they have to get the data from us instead of the mayor's office because they trust our data better.
But this is the problem. Okay, remember, this mayor ran on the claim of transparency. Yet we haven't seen that claim yet.
Let me tell you something. The mayor can't buy enough Windex to have transparency in that office.
No, I know. It's so dark, it's unbelievable. But it's going to be interesting to see. I had alluded a little bit to a local business, and I can't reveal them still yet. I can tell you that they currently employ over 200 employees in the city.
But that's the place with the #1 shrink?
Yes.
Okay. But we can't mention the name yet.
No, we can't. But they do have one of their claims to fame is that they have the highest theft
Of any store in the city.
of any store.
And of any of their stores
Right,
in New
out of
England.
any of their stores. So when you look at the fact that that's what Fall River has, okay, where a business cannot even exist in the city without losing hundreds of thousands of dollars to theft.
That's that I'm entitled to mentality.
Right. You know, and then you wonder why businesses don't want to come here. Except at the New Harbor Mall, where we're going to bring in the 110 grill.
Oh my God. Did you see the price of that place?
Yeah,
I can't even buy a Coke there.
I know. A salad is like $11, and then if you want to add
$12, I can
Yeah.
go to Burger King for $4 and have
I
a
know.
Whopper and be happy.
I know. But, you know, they say, well, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
This is the mantra. Okay, if you build it, people will come that can spend the money there.
By the way, we have to have a moment of silence. After 40 years, Sears in Swansea has locked the doors forever.
Again, another brick and mortar store gone.
Brick and mortar is all done. It's all now click and order.
That's it. And, you know, remember, as those stores keep closing, the unemployment rate keeps going up.
And what was the other place?
GameStop.
GameStop. Yep.
GameStop
And that's
closing the doors.
that's click and order stuff anyway. That's all computerized stuff anyway.
Yep. And Payless.
Payless Shoes and Kmart, and it's sad.
Right. And those are all jobs that a lot of people who are in school, college, high school, they got those jobs.
Yep, and I understand that their exit interviews are being told, practice after me. Would you like fries with that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that's going to be left pretty soon.
And even that, I mean,
And
when you
even
look at
that's in trouble.
McDonald's, when you look at McDonald's now coming out with kiosks
Yep.
to handle ordering, you know, what more? What more?
And they
You
said,
know, and remember, the mayor said in his State of the Republic address that Fall River is doing so wonderful. Our unemployment rate is down.
well, I happen to know a candidate for mayor is going to be saying that the city needs to go in receivership.
Yeah, well, you know, they've been saying that for years. The problem is there isn't one political candidate or incumbent who wants to pull that trigger.
I think this gentleman will. So.
Well, you know, it's quite possible. But you know what? You know what the problem is? You may pull the trigger and all the contracts will be gone and all of that, and everything's got to go back to be renegotiated and reworked out.
I wonder if that kills the charter. By the
No.
way, I noticed at the last charter meeting they were talking about reducing the number of signatures from 300 for mayor to 100.
Yep.
And city council and school committee backed down to 50, but it was a tie vote, so they had to continue it till their April meeting.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Somebody has to get leaned on to vote no.
You know, it's not even an issue. It can't be a tie vote. Somebody was absent, right?
Yes.
Who was absent?
The attorney for the zoning board of appeals.
David Assad?
Yes.
Oh, well, he would be the one that says no. He would say yes because he's the one that believes we have to vet the candidates.
Yeah, I know.
And you know, that's really, really sad. So, well, that's the end of the show.
We only get one shot at the charter, and if it doesn't pass in November, they can bring it back in November 2019. Exactly the same words. So they can get turned down twice.
We'll see what happens. Hey,
Don't forget
have a
City
great
Council
day.
tomorrow.
Have a great day, and Chip will be back on Wednesday. He's up in Boston doing clandestine operations. Have a great day. Stay angry.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a nice